Hello and welcome to Cricbuzz Live. Well, you know, they say that the best way to get over heartbreak is to love again. That's right. So I'm calling this series the Rebound Series. The good thing is that you, me, all of us, we love cricket. So that love affair continues with a 5-match T20 series, which is going to be played between India and Australia. I'm not going to call it a revenge series. And of course, this is the lead up to the T20 World Cup that's going to be happening in the summer next year. That's right. One's gone, another one's coming up. Chodo kal ki baatein, kal ki baat purani. And to talk about these new things, I'm Gaurav Kapur, and with me, Parthiv Patel and Zaheer Khan. PP, how's the heartbreak, man? It's okay?
Yeah, that's fine. We are just still getting to terms with it. But yeah, having said that, the way India played, we all thought that, India should have won that World Cup. But, it is what it is. As you said, you got to accept it and move forward.
That's right. It's the best way, right, to get over heartbreak is to love again. Here we are to love cricket again.
But it's not easy, and you're not talking about the phases. You're very conveniently skipping all the phases of what happens in between.
Yeah. Denial, acceptance, grief, mourning, tears, drinking, anger.
All those things are going to happen, and so it should be. I think that's the way it goes. You can't really change those things. It was tough for everyone to digest the fact that in spite of playing so well, and that's what World Cups are all about, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've seen a team which has been dominating through and through. You've seen a team which lost first 2 games. And no one were giving them chance. There were some talks about, is this the right approach? Blah, 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 whatever, is this the right captain? And the captain going on to actually having that kind of a run and then doing everything possible to make sure that the team lifts the cup. So that's how it has been. You talk about a team like Afghanistan, how they have really made that impact in this tournament. So on the whole, I think the World Cup was a very exciting tournament. Just cricketing-wise, you've seen all the drama, you've seen all the excitement, you've seen the defending champions going down, which no one would have imagined. You've seen a team like Afghanistan making that kind of an impact. You've seen Netherlands beating South Africa, the team who played semi-finals. And you've seen a World Cup deserving team not actually going on to take that final step and win the World Cup.
Yeah, so I've actually gone through I like how he put it. It's a nice refresher course package that he put together, like a little kunji that Zach just gave us. I have been through the 5 stages of grief in the last 3 days, all of them that I spoke about. And here I am, fresh, ready to go, ready to love again, ready to believe again, ready to go on this journey for the next World Cup, for the next trophy, backing the boys in blue to pick that up. But you know what? For a World Cup, you need to have good prep time. The one thing that we haven't touched upon is, and we did during the World Cup, was that a lot of teams had a lot less prep coming into this World Cup than they did into the previous World Cup. They were playing fewer ODIs. England almost half the ODIs that they had played in the previous 4-year cycle. Just taking that point ahead, you're suddenly switching modes now from ODI cricket to T20 cricket, but you only have 11 T20Is to play actually before that World Cup begins.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's something which we spoke about before the 50-over World Cup, that India was very well prepared. India knew what squad they wanted to go with, what combination they wanted to go with. Here there are 5 T20Is against Australia, then you'll play 3 against South Africa, and then 3 against Afghanistan, and then the big test series and IPL, and then we'll be going to the T20 World Cup in West Indies and USA. So yeah, it is a very less time. And having said that, there are a lot of questions about whether Rohit and Virat will play this T20 cricket or not. How well will Hardik be fit again? Everyone thought that Hardik will be India's T20 captain. So now though he won't be playing any cricket before IPL. So that's another question. What kind of combination India want to go with? So there are a lot of questions for India, and there are very little games to go with it. So yeah, it's going to be exciting 11 games for India. It'll be a great challenge for especially Lakshman now that he is coach of this, at least for this series. So it'll be exciting. It'll be good to see it'll be interesting to see what kind of combination which they are going through. We've seen number of combination in 50-over World Cup. Here we'll see, who's opening, especially, you've got Ruturaj as your vice captain, you've got Yashasvi Jaiswal who's done really well, but you have Ishan Kishan in your side as well as a T20 opener. So there are a lot of questions. So hopefully in this 11 games, we will get that answer.
Yeah, that's right. Some very interesting names there. And I think some very interesting names that are not on this list are the players that you just named who are not playing Some, of course, who've been given some rest. Some where you're thinking, will they play the World Cup? Will they continue playing this format or not? And the two, hamare do hero, hamare do sher. Of course, Virat and Rohit, the main discussion will be about them. But you know what? I'm not going to ask Parthiv and Zach about that right now. We have 5 games to talk about that. So we will talk about that. Right now, I want to talk about the approach that this team is going to take, because we spoke about the approach so much, and Rohit spoke about the approach in ODI cricket so much, of how they wanted to play a different brand of cricket ever since he took over captain. And they did that, right? They did that, and effective, of course, 10 matches in a row, played the final. And Suryakumar Yadav, in his press conference, also alluded to that, spoke about Rohit Sharma and that approach, saying Rohit led by example. He walked the talk as a leader, led from the front, and we try to replicate the same thing. I have told them, you have to keep the team first. Let's be very selfless. Love that, absolutely. He says, I'm a guy who doesn't think too much about personal milestones. And I think that while Rohit showed that in the World Cup leading from the front, I think that's even more important in T20 cricket, because personal milestones, you know, even if you slow down for a ball or two with that playing on your mind, it can change the game.
And especially in this format, you know, so in this format, it's very important that you bring out this kind of a mindset. You know, you bring out that team culture, which is going to be resonating of putting team first. Because there are moments in the game, they might look small, but the impact of those moments is very huge, especially in the T20 format, because the time is limited.
Yeah.
You know, the number of deliveries which you are facing is very limited. In a game like ODI, you have more than double the number of deliveries to play around with. So there are phases in the game where you can absorb pressure or you can slow down. But in this format, you can't slow down. So what they're talking about is basically taking it to the next level. What we've seen in the ODI format, Rohit Sharma was the leader with that regard. You have to put team first, you have to be selfless, you have to play the moment, and you have to seize those moments.
Yeah.
So it's just an extension of that, I feel. And it's a right approach to have. And T20 format is going to be very demanding. You got to win those moments, and you have to keep up with the pace of the game.
Yeah.
So all these things will go a long way.
Yeah, and it's great that they're talking like that. The same way that they spoke about ODI cricket, the same approach in T20I as well. But the problem is that there's not that much runway to apply that, to make the changes, to find the right combination, because it's just 11 games. So that thing is going to obviously play on their mind. And then, of course, there's the IPL, where everybody plays T20 cricket, but then you don't have your team playing together. It's people playing against each other. And then they come back into the team again. So I'm sure that these things take a little bit of adjustment, Parthiv.
It does, and especially when you spoke about IPL, where there are a lot of people who play out of position. If they are playing for India, when you are batting at number 5, but if you're in IPL, so KL Rahul or Shreyas Iyer would be batting at number 3 or opening. But here, the requirement of Indian team is to bat at number 5 or 6. So I think that is the bigger adjustment than the team combination or knowing each other, and the opening partners as well. A T20 format, I think that power play makes a huge difference. So knowing that chemistry of openers becomes a very, very crucial point when you're opening in T20. So yeah, playing together makes a lot of difference. But I feel playing out of the position and making that adjustment without playing that many international games is a bigger adjustment for any batters or even bowlers as well. Some of the bowlers, they bowl one change. There are spinners who bowl new ball with in a franchisee. But here in Indian team, you are not required to bowl with the new ball.
Correct.
So you have to make that adjustment also. So all in all, I think there's 11 games. Yes, these 11 games are important, but if you look at the bigger picture or a larger picture for India's point of view, I think players who, if you think that someone's going to bat at number 5, 6 for India, I think they should be batting at number 5, 6 for franchisee. I know it's not easy, but that you can't do that. But ideally, if that can happen, that will just give that boost for an Indian team.
Yeah, in an ideal universe, yes, perhaps that would. It's great advice, but I guess practically, will the teams do that or not? We don't know. But let me tell you that for this first game, India has won the toss and decided to bat first. No, no, I'm kidding. Just trying to help you get over the trauma, right? Just by saying it. India's not batting first. India is bowling first. And here is the playing 11. The 11 that we're all waiting for. Here it is. Rituraj Gaikwad and Yashasvi Jaiswal, Ishan Kishan. So don't know which of those are going to open. Gaikwad perhaps, definitely. Then there's Suryakumar Yadav, the captain. Tilak Verma, Rinku Singhs, a couple of left-handers there. Followed by Akshar Patel, also left-hander. Then Ravi Bishnoi, a spinner. Arshdeep Singh, Prasidh Krishna and Mukesh Kumar, your quick. So this is the team. Zach, what do you make of this bowling attack?
Well, they're going in with 5 bowlers. That's the kind of approach which you're looking at here. Maybe Tilak Verma will be your 6th bowling option. How much they're going to use is something which we'll have to wait and see. But Ishan Kishan straight away is catching your eye in terms of batting out of position. If you're going to bat with Ruturaj and Yashasvi to be the openers, then you are actually making that adjustment. Because of that, you're seeing Suryakumar Yadav also going at that number 4 position rather than batting at number 3. So that in the long run, I'm not sure about. You know, so you have to. That's one thing which we've been seeing in the past also. Indian team management making those small little adjustments just to accommodate player. You have to, in this format, set that template very clear. That which are your finishers, which are your power hitters, what kind of approach you want to have. And then you look for those kind of players, because the players' availability, when you're looking at the player pool, is immense.
Correct.
So don't go by the reputation of player. Like, you know, don't go by right now thinking how to accommodate a certain player because he's fulfilling certain criteria.
Team first.
Yeah, I think the team first, and then you look at the roles, and then you see which players are ideal fitted or suited to play that kind of a role. And in that, you'll have to make some tough calls. I think, you know, for this tournament, it's going to be very important that you make those tough calls.
Tricky hai. Tricky hai Mamla. There's too many people, right? There's too many people vying for those positions, and they're talented players, and you're tempted to fit them in. But if you fit them in out of position, then you may have a problem. But let's talk about Australia now, and the 11 that Australia is taking onto the field. You'll see some familiar names from the ODI World Cup that are in the team. Right up, you see Steve Smith, Matthew Short, and Aaron Hardy, Josh Inglis, one of the heroes of the semi-final. Tim David, big hitter. Zach and Parthiv have both seen enough of him. Marcus Stoinis, Matthew Wade, captain and wicketkeeper. Then you have Sean Abbott, Nathan Ellis, who has been brilliant, especially in the death this year while playing for Australia. Jason Behrendorff and Tanveer Sangha. This is very interesting. I know that it's listed that way, but would you see Steve Smith opening? I find that he's done it in the IPL, as is Marcus Stoinis, as does Matthew Wade. So there's a few people there who open.
Yeah, I think it looks like that Steve Smith is going to open the innings for Australia. He does that in BBL for his franchise. So and that's his best position as well. You know, we talk a lot about Virat Kohli opening in T20 format. This is something that Steve Smith can do for Australia. He can just play around the way he wants to play, and then all the attacking batters can take a lead. So yeah, I think it looks like that Steve Smith, and they need that kind of experience going to Australia, going to West Indies and USA. You will not get those flat wickets. You will not get those wickets where ball will come onto the bat, you know, very easily. So yeah, and his numbers are look at his average.
His numbers very good in BBL. Yeah. Maybe not that good. I mean, far lesser in T20Is. His numbers are. So maybe that's why he's also being pushed as an opener, because you know that in the middle order with the fielding, with the fielders back, he's not as effective.
Yeah, they need experience to play when you have to play on a spinner's wicket or when you play on a slow wickets. That's exactly why he was playing in the World Cup as well. Him and Manas Labuschagne both. So Australia has that kind of a philosophy going into World Cups. So that is the reason why they want him to open. And if he gets a good start and then he can play that anchor's role, and someone that they've got big hitters anyway. We are not seeing Cameron Green here. They've got
that's what I'm saying.
So they have enough hitters to accommodate, so they need someone who can anchor the inning as well.
But I'm just saying, just playing devil's advocate, Zach, in terms of Steve Smith and this format, right? Test great, I mean, no question. ODI, effectively doing what Parthiv says, no doubt about it. In T20 cricket, see you anyway playing him opener because his numbers are not working at 3 and 4. You know he's not that big 6-hitter clearing, you know, going into the second tier. And they have a lot of the big hitters sitting outside. Do you even see his place in this team once you get Cameron Green, Mitch Marsh, Travis Head, Warner maybe,
Maxwell.
Glenn Maxwell?
It's hard to judge right now.
Yeah,
for
it looks unlikely.
And I think you look at both the teams and you will say this is a filler series. You know, it's going to be maybe some trials which are going to be going on right now. Maybe the selectors, the team management would look to find some answers which they are confused about. And that's how both the teams will be looking at the series. So Steven Smith comes in with that kind of approach here.
How do you like that? I'm sorry, this is a very good point that you make up, this filler series, because as a fan, for me, I find it very strange that you're playing 11 games. Out of that, 5 you're treating as just a filler or auditioning people or trying, because that's half your effective runway against a very good opposition. Is the problem because it's just happened too close to the World Cup and these two teams happen to play the final? Would they have not treated this as a filler series and full-fledged squads coming if there was just a little more break in the schedule?
No, I think there are enough franchise cricket matches in between. Okay. And I think both the boards will be looking at that. It's a good level of cricket. It's not something which you can take lightly. You've seen the competition is rated very high, especially with IPL. So you will get that many games. It's just about identifying the roles for players. And that's why it's very important to identify the template. What kind of template you want to set? What kind of approach you want to have? And then you go look for the players and you say that, okay, you're going to get that many games. Doesn't matter where you're practicing. Doesn't matter whether you're playing IPL or you're playing Big Bash. In Australia's case, they're going to do that. They're going to give them that responsibility. And come World Cup, they're just going to get together. And this format allows you to be like that.
Okay.
You know, it's not a format where you need a lot of games together. The players need to be playing together. It's about positions.
Yeah.
It's about passages of play which you have to take care of. And because the version is a condensed version, you can afford to not spend a lot of time together or play in that kind of a scenario early on. To be ready for a big tournament.
So it allows you for more of a plug and play. You just kind of come in and...
Yeah, I think even if you're playing against good side, when Zach thought about that, said about how selectors might be confused about certain players. But if those confusing players are the one who's going to play against a good side, so if they perform, then that confusion will be lesser. So they have performed against a better side. So that's something you can always look at in both ways, whether it's a filler series or it's an opportunity for a youngsters to make his name and try and cement his place for the World Cup.
Out of this team, if you just put the 11 up again for India, who are the players that you're excited about watching playing this big stage, a big opposition, and to kind of write their names, big and bold for the World Cup consideration?
Rinku Singh. I think one of the players that comes into my mind is Rinku Singh. Especially at what number he is batting, what he has done in IPL. Obviously, we are going to talk about his 5-6s all the time. But to me, I think his biggest inning was probably the way he batted against CSK. It carried on that performance in Mushtaq Ali as well, where his strike rate, average, everything's right there, up there.
Staggering.
But he has that ability of switching the game according to the situation of the game. We saw him hitting those 5-6s. We saw him hitting 2 6s, finishing the game, and when he had to just stitch a partnership with Nitish Rana on a difficult pitch at CSK where he scored that 50 not out. So he has that ability of playing both kind of roles, and he's got a lot of runs behind him. We just saw Mushtaq Ali runs. He's got a lot of list A runs. He's got a lot of first class cricket runs. So he's someone very exciting talent. We always talk about who's a finisher in Indian team, and only one name that comes into our mind is Hardik Pandya. But Hardik Pandya plays number 4 for Gujarat Titans. So basically, we have, if you look at the squad, there is only Rinku Singh and Jitesh Sharma. These are the two players, only they bat at number 5, 6 or 7.
In IPL,
so I think, so to me, I think Rinku Singh is something very exciting. And if he manages to get those runs against good side, I think it'll be a great boost for an Indian World Cup squad.
We've seen, there was also an instance in the UP T20, in the UP League, where he hit 2 6s of the last 2 balls to win the teams, to win the match for his team. So I think, we talk about talent, and obviously there's 150 in this talent pool who are really talented, but I think over that you guys always talk about temperament over talent, especially in a really tight high pressure format like this. And Rinku, does he come across as a guy who is like, we talk about jigra, his jigra is bigger than him, he's a little guy but his heart is even bigger than he?
I think he has set himself that kind of a goal.
Yeah.
You've seen that not just previous season I'm talking about, even before that you've seen he was approaching the game in that fashion, and he wants to be very clear about how he's going to play his innings.
Yeah.
And that is something which consolidated, I think, in the previous IPL, which earned him the Indian team call as well.
Yeah.
Just because of that, because he was so consistent, he was adapting in different conditions and having that temperament to be able to finish games. And that is something which is very important. So, like how Parthiv was also mentioning, those kind of players having that kind of temperament, having that kind of ability and game. To finish games is something you don't find easily. MS is someone who we always talk about. Hardik is another name. We've seen Pollard doing that consistently. So those Miller now in the recent past have been very good. So these are quality players which we are talking about. You got to promote and make more players like this. And that's why when Parthiv was taking Jitesh Sharma's name, I'm also thinking that these are the opportunities. When you know that the matches are limited, and then you will have to be completely dependent on IPL performances and IPL approach. When you have the chance, might as well utilize these kind of moments. There are many players right now which are not going to be, which are not part of this T20 series because of the World Cup. A tournament like World Cup just gotten over. These kind of moments don't come easily, don't come in plenty. So you got to make use of these opportunities to know at the highest level how these players are going to respond.
I don't want to be in the shoes of our dear friend Ajit Agarkar or any of the other selectors, especially with T20 cricket, because with all these guys, you can't put a question mark against any of their names for T20 cricket. There's another 10, 12 guys sitting outside. You can't put a question mark against them. This is about 25, 27 people in this talent pool who would fit into this T20 team like seamlessly. So yeah, it's a tough one. So as Zach is saying, a few opportunities that will be given in this series. These youngsters would probably want to grab those. There's a person who's grabbed all his opportunities. He's played a lot of T20 cricket. We're talking about Arshdeep Singh. Arshdeep, in fact, in the previous World Cup, not ये वाला नहीं वो उसके पिछले साल वाला T20 World Cup. हर साल होता है ना. So in the 22 World Cup, he was the highest wicket taker. He's another guy who has always been kind of icy cool when it comes to bowling that Yorker, just tightening up the batters towards the end.
Yeah, that's something the temperament can do to you, and that's something can happen if you've done it time and again. This is what he was doing for his franchise, Punjab Kings, where he was bowling those difficult overs. He was bowling in power play. He was bowling in death overs. Even recently concluded, Mushtaq Ali, Punjab did become champion, and Arshdeep Singh played a crucial role where it looked like at Baroda is going to take the game away, and he bowled crucial 19th over and took 2 wickets. So this is something can happen with the confidence. Plus, obviously, you have to have that ability. And always you don't see in T20 format that a bowler set up a batsman. And we've seen him doing it to Babar Azam. We've seen him doing to all the top quality batters. And the confidence is high. So when you are in a difficult situation, difficult times, where you have to be brave enough to also get hit for a 6. You are going to get hit for a 6. But you have to be brave enough to make sure that just stay calm and stick to your processes. And that's exactly what Arshdeep Singh has, that ability of swinging in, swinging out, slow ones, bouncers, and he keeps on adding whatever varieties he has, and that's a good sign of a cricketer.
Left arm quick to left arm quick. Zach, what impresses you about Arshdeep?
I think the ability to bowl at any stage in the game. I think in T20 format, if you have a bowler like that, it's an asset to have. And keeping it simple, having that clarity, not overcomplicating things. As a bowler, you just got to back yourself and execute the plan which you have in mind at that stage in that particular moment of the game. Not every time you're going to be successful. So that is something which is very important for a bowler to learn as quickly as possible. These things you get to know as you play more and more games. But in Arshdeep's case, I think what has impressed me the most is that when he started playing IPL also, that journey was very fast. The journey of learning these things, knowing what's going to work for me, what is my strength, how should I approach the game, and then he will stick to the plan and he will back himself to execute those plans. That has been his success mantra so far.
He's and things happen, right? I mean, there was a lot of Arshdeep was spoken about a lot, dropped an important catch in the Asia Cup, but then came back into the T20 World Cup and took a wicket, right in the beginning. So just showed that you have to put these things behind you because they're going to happen. Cricket moves just so fast and furious that you have to put the successes as well as the failures behind you and just move on and focus on the next ball. With Australia, what has been successful for them? They, of course, won the T20 World Cup before the last T20 World Cup, right? So, हर साल होता है भाई. So the 2021 World Cup they won, and they also that one was again like this one. They kind of came out of nowhere. They were not being considered as favourites, and I think that's probably the best thing you can do for Australia and the worst thing you can do to them as an opposition. But since then, the T20 cricket has had one template. I'd like to call it the England 15 to 19 template. It's just go hammer and tongs. And they've been going hammer and tongs.
That you can do it because you have that batting depth.
Yeah.
That's Australia's strength has been in last couple of years or 3 years is the all-rounders which they have. They don't stop. They, if you have so many batters can play at a certain strike rate, a certain run rate, which never drops.
All double digits.
All double digits. So that is the reason why you can just keep on going and play your shots. Unlike this one-day cricket in this T20 format, that all-rounders plays a huge role, and someone who can just give you those 30 runs in 10 balls, or Zach's spoken about the passages of the play. If you have last 2 overs and Matthew Wade comes in and hits those 3 sixes, which he did it to Shaheen Shah Afridi in a semi-final in 2021 semi-final. Yeah. So those cameos also makes a huge difference, and Australia has plenty of players like that. We are not talking about here Maxwell, we are not talking about Travis Head, they are still yet to come, but even in this lineup you have enough all-rounders. So we'll obviously today also we'll see Australian players using that template of making sure that run rate doesn't drop beyond 9 or probably 8.5.
There's big hitters there, and India's going in with only 5 bowlers. What do you think of this thought of 5 bowlers? Do you think that this is what they will take into the World Cup, or unlikely?
Actually, if you compare the two playing 11s right now, we are still better off. Because Australia is going in with only 4 seamers, and then Stoinis and then possibly Hardy is going to be that option.
Matthew Short does.
Yeah.
Matthew Short.
Tanvi Sanga's the spinner.
No, but you have 4 proper bowlers.
4 proper bowlers. Yeah, 4 proper bowlers, 1 spinner, 3 seamers.
So 4 proper bowlers, and your 5th bowling option, you're going to look towards Stoinis, Hardy, and maybe short bowling bit. So so that's the kind of approach they've gone with. When you're looking at Indian team, they're still going in with proper 5 bowlers. That is the right approach to have. And 6th bowler is going to be Tilak. So when you comparing the two teams, clearly Australia is trying to catch the game with the bat, and they want to make sure that their batting is having enough depth, and the strike rate is something which they'll be giving emphasis on.
Yeah.
And dot balls is something which are not accepted. That's the kind of approach.
Yeah.
Clearly you can see wherein India is trying to play a more traditional way, where they're saying that okay, we need quality bowlers who can have that impact on the game. And with batters, you might have maybe one batter short, but you have to make sure that the top order batters face enough deliveries, create that platform for the power hitters to come and make use of the platform.
And of course, India is going to be chasing today. And when you have a look at the 11, you'll see what Zach is saying in terms of the 5 bowlers. You have Akshar Patel, Bishnoi, Arshdeep, Prasidh Krishna, and Mukesh Kumar, and you may get a couple of overs in from Tilak Varma. But there you go. You're batting basically till 7. I mean, we've seen Bishnoi and Arshdeep and.
It looks a completely different batting lineup when you compare this to our 50-over middle order. They're all right-handers in our 50-over middle order. And here they're all left-handers, because obviously Suryakumar Yadav's position is number 3. If Ishan's batting at number 4, then Ishan, Rinku Singh, then Akshar Patel, then Tilak Varma, all 4 left-handers. So that's a different thing. We were talking about we needed a left-hander in middle order, but you've got here 4 left-handers in middle order here in T20 format. And that is the reason why Suryakumar Yadav is batting at number 3, and going in the World Cup, we might just see those changes. Suryakumar Yadav bats at 3 and someone else bats at 4, or maybe another left-handed. So, it's going to be a good, as I said, 11 games. It's going to be the game of chess, who comes in and who fits in where. So, India is in that exciting zone, but there'll be a lot of questions also, whom to pick and whom not to pick from the pool of players which we have.
How excited is the left-hander? So excited. He's like, mere bande aa gaye. My guys are there. And I guess maybe it's there's so much left in this team because T20 is a more liberal format. Anyway, let's go to the joy factor question. Clever joke, huh?
Yeah.
It's a clever joke. Well done, yeah. It's not as clever as this question, though, because these questions are very clever. When Aaron Finch hit the highest T20I score of 172 against Zimbabwe in 2018, whose record did he break? Yeah, this is an easy question. Hai.
This is T20I.
Yeah.
It's internationals.
Internationals, not IPL.
You're thinking for IPL, you're thinking.
Yeah.
No, I'm thinking T20, but this is Googleable. I mean, normally his questions are not Googleable, right?
Yeah.
They're kind of complicated. You have to you have 6, 7, clues and some red herrings and something. So, wo nahi hai is bari.
It's just a filler question, like the tone, like this series. He's also easing into it.
That's right. So he's in the depression stage of his grief. He's given up. It's like Lelo, Asan wala Lelo. Here it is. Here's a simple one. It's a doozy. All right, send your answers in on Twitter, also known as, and hashtag JoyFactor, hashtag Cricbuzz Live. So send in your answers there. I, of course, will quickly tell you, while Parthiv and Zach are thinking about their score guess for the first innings, I will quickly show you the 11s of the two teams. The first of the 5 T20Is that are being played between India and Australia. This one, of course, in Vizag. India is going to be bowling first. India won the toss. This is the 11. Since India is bowling, I'll go from the bowlers. Mukesh Kumar, Prasidh Krishna, Arshdeep Singh, Ravi Bishnoi and Akshar Patel. And the batters, Rituraj Gaikwad, the vice-captain, Yashasvi Jaiswal, Ishan Kishan, Suryakumar Yadav, the captain, Tilak Verma and Rinku Singh. And for Australia, who are going to be batting first, you've got Steve Smith, Matthew Short, Aaron Hardy, Josh Inglis, Tim David, Marcus Stoinis, Matthew Wade, captain and wicketkeeper, Sean Abbott, Nathan Ellis, Berendorf and Tanveer Sangha, their spinner. All right, boys, what's it going to be? Come on, PP.
185. I've not seen the pitch, so I'm just guessing 185.
That's why it's a guess now.
Yeah, 185.
I mean, sometimes everyone is seeing the pitch also and not being able to decide what the score
how many
is.
runs?
How
many runs you're giving in between?
5. T20 is 5, ODI is 10.
So 179. I was going to say 180. So I'm giving 5 clear runs.
5 clear. But you've given each other 3 runs only.
Yeah.
So you are till 182 and you're till 182. Okay, 179.
I don't want to give it so easy to him.
Okay, I'm actually going to go higher. I'm going to go higher. I feel like there's going to be a run fest. 194.
So that's not a run fest. 194. Anything over 200, you were guessing 400.
Don't make no. I know what you do. You're trying to make me change my instinct. No, naughty. No, naughty.
It has to be, run fest has to be 200.
I'm declaring at 194. If 194 happens, we're going to start the show. We're going to start at 194. Even if 2 overs are left.
You're declaring at 194.
I'll declare at 194.
Okay.
Right, that's done. Okay, well, that's all we have time for. We're going to come back with the Cricbuzz Combox at the end of the 10th over. We are, right? We are going to come back with Combox? No, it's food. Sort of 50 over ka habit ho gaya na, so I can take a nap in the middle and all that, but I can't now. This is fast and furious, baby. T20 cricket is back. No naps now. It's going to be fast and furious. So we're going to see you at the end of the 10th over for Cricbuzz Combox. Big thank you to Parthiv Patel and Zaheer Khan. I'm Gaurav Kapur. You were watching Cricbuzz Live. We shall see you in a while.